before I start, I'm going to try my best this morning to speak slowly so you can understand. I try not to wipe my face. Okay, my name is Keith Olivier from St. Vincent, representing soccer or football. And my project basically is strengthening grassroots football in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The problem, basically from observation, there's a reduction in participation of youngsters in football throughout the country. So my mission, therefore, is to develop a project to create maybe some program of activities to increase the participation of youths. And when I say youths, I mean male and female, on the leeward side of the island, based on the LTAD model. And I'm going to do it from the fundamental right up to the train-to-train stage. And the theoretical base, basically, will be a reference to the UK and the Canadian model. And when under close examination, I observed that in order for my project to be sustainable, following some of the examples that are listed there, it is a good model to use in the development of my project. Now, in analyzing the project also, we did what we call a SWOT analysis, where we look at strengths, weaknesses, barriers, and so. And coming out of that, I came up with some sport and non-sport aims and objectives. And under the sporting aims and objectives, I have, like, for example, develop a program of activities for youngsters, basically males and females between the age of 6 to 13, based on the LTDA model. And increase the participation of youngsters in sports. And below, I have increased the awareness of the benefits of participating in sports. Some non-sport aims or objectives: create an atmosphere of enjoyment by utilizing fun, games, and drills, which I think is lacking, and that is where we get the fall off in participation at a young age. And of course, while participating, you will have opportunities to interact and develop their social skills and so forth through meaningful play. And in the long run, you have a more knitted society or community. Some outcomes: increase the player pool for national selection at all levels. And that is basically a long-term, higher level of awareness of the game throughout the country. And participants will become more active for life. Inputs: in order for me to achieve to maybe make my project successful, I must include all of the following there, especially coaches from the community, the different clubs and the schools. There are some funding available, but also I'm going to ask for support from persons within the community. Equipment, I can get that easily. The fees, I'm going to use the community fees or the fees that are close to where the kids are coming from. And communication, I'm going to use the various media to heighten the awareness of the project or the program. Some outputs: basically create a guide for the coaches based on the LTDA model. As I mentioned before, a fundamental right to train stage. And I'm going to do what we call a 9-week clinic with at least 20 kids per age group. And it will be after school. How am I going to do that? I'll split it up into categories or months. November, they are basically, I'm going to do the groundwork, start the awareness and so forth. Acquire equipment in December, work on the program also, recruit the coaches, go right down to the actual running of the clinic in January and February, and then do an evaluation in March, and maybe look at how we can continue with the program in the future or take it to the other parts of the country. And then I complete it in April. What am I going to include? I'm going to include everybody that is possible, from the schools right down to the clubs and the community. Because I'm going to involve every single kid. Whether you could kick a ball or not, I'm going to include you. These are my individual outcomes. And I mentioned part of it already. Gain appreciation and love for the game of soccer. Skills related to the LBD stages. How am I going to find out whether or not my project was successful? And I would say an increase in the participation of the athletes, maybe from 20 to maybe 35, or if I get 20, that is good. I'm going to get some feedback from the participants, the parents, and also the coaches. And at the end, because I go train to train, I'm going to do a little skill. At the end, maybe to see if you can dribble through some cones fast, or how much time you can jog the ball and so forth. Thank you very much.